for my ambition. Easy to dream a dream, though it's harder to live. They gon' love me for my ambition.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I wanted to do another nursing video, just going through the differences again with my experience with long-term care versus home care. So I just wanted to go through from my experience the difference between the two, and then at the end I'll definitely go over what I would prefer to do, which is what I'm currently doing right now. Okay, so let's get to it. Now if I look down, I have my notes here, so so that's what I'm looking down at. Okay, all right, so the ratio. So home care, the ratio, which is like the nurse to the patient or nurse to the resident or nurse to the client, that particular ratio, when it comes to home care, the most I've seen is between 1 and 2. You don't really have more than that because you're just one person. So you might have maybe one person, which is like a husband, a wife, a daughter, whoever, or maybe a child. And if you do have 2, it's usually a husband and a wife, something of that sort. But I don't think I've ever had 2. Just kind of heard of 2. So that's the ratio, is usually 1 nurse to 1 to 2 residents or clients. Now with long-term care and rehab, it's definitely going to be more because you're in a facility. So I've seen, and I've also been a nurse who had anywhere between like 15, 17 residents all the way up to like 30 residents. Since the pandemic, I've seen smaller amount of ratios, so I haven't seen anything past 30 unless you work overnight. Of course, you can get a whole unit on your own, so you probably have like 60 patients, just being honest. So that's the ratio. So for the hours, for home care, the hours can be anywhere between 1 to 12, or maybe a live-in schedule as well. So for 1 hour, usually that can be like if you have to come and do wound care for the resident or the patient, or if you have to do a supervisory visit, which is you going over to the resident's home and you're sitting with the family just saying, hey, are we going with the care plan? Have we reached goals? Is there anything we need to revisit? Any concerns? Things of that sort. So that's usually, you know, the 1 hour, but it can go anywhere between 1 hour to 4 hours, 8 hours, 12 hours, and sometimes even live-in, just depending. So that's home care. So for long-term care, I haven't seen any 4-hour shifts. I don't know. But long-term care rehab, that's anywhere between 8 to 12 to 16 if you're going to do a double. I haven't seen anything past that because after that it pretty much get illegal because you know you have so many residents that you have to take care of and you're just one nurse. So the support system. So in home care, the support system is mainly the family, if they have any. That's the most support, and by support I mean like your support. If you need assistance, if something was to occur, something was to happen, who could you physically go to? It'll be maybe a family member in the home, but that's pretty much it. In long-term care rehab, you have full support. You have CNAs to help with doing like the ADLs. You have dietary to help with meals and feedings. No, not feeding, sorry. To help with like meals and preparing foods, things of that sort. You also have like the DON, so if you have any questions about anything that's in the system, or you can go to your DON about it. Also, most long-term care, the doctors come to the facility. The nurse practitioners, they come to the facility. So you also have them as a support as well. And with them coming often, you know, they know your face. So you have a good support system there. So the task. So for the task, I guess it can vary, just depending on, of course, the care plan and what the residents need. So you will be doing, you know, wound care, G-tube, trach care, any suctioning, med administration, checking blood sugars. You'll be doing all of those treatments. The only difference that I have experienced and that I've heard is that when you're in home care, sometimes you are the CNA, which you learn that in nursing school. We pretty much are overall CNA in nursing, you know, when it comes to that. That's the fundamentals of nursing and CNA. So in home care, you do, depending on the care plan, have to do like the bathing and the toileting and the transfers and things of that sort. So those are the main differences. And also what I noticed in long-term care is that you will be some form of a manager. Even if you just manager for that day, they call it souping or supervising. So you'll be a supervisor for that day. So that's a different task that you will have in long-term care or rehab that you will not have in home care. So pay. From my experience and from what I am told, pay pretty much can be kind of similar just depending on what you are doing. So if you're going into a home and you're only there an hour, they're not going to pay you like $20, to go there for that hour. They're probably going to say, hey, we're going to pay you $50 an hour or $45 for the visit. They usually will kind of have like a pay rate higher when it's like less hours to kind of help you compensate for that. Now, long-term care, I guess it just depends. Like I made another video, check out the video, about the pay in different states, especially Georgia, because I'm from Georgia, so I was looking to go back to Georgia and be a nurse, but pay rates, just check out that video. So the pay rate for long-term care, it can vary anywhere between I would say like $19 an hour, anywhere to $27. Now that's just base. You will get shift differentials. That's with long-term care and rehab. You will also be able to do like overtime and get bonuses and things of that sort. So the pay is definitely different in that sense. Now, which one do Shar prefer? Which one do Nurse Shar prefer? What do y'all think? Of course, I love me some long-term care. And let me tell you why. I love long-term care. And I know people say that it's overwhelming and they have so many negative things to say about it. But I love long-term care. The reason why I love long-term care, is because, number one, when you become a nurse, you learn all these skills. And while you're in nursing school, you learn all these skills. Now, if you go and do home care, it depends on that particular client or that particular patient, which one of those skills you learned that you kind of exercise. From my experience in long-term care, I exercise everything. Everything that I learned in nursing school, I exercise it and I do it. G-tubes, trach, we don't, start IVs for IV medications, tube feedings, all of those things, medications, wound care, whether it's stage 1, 2, 3, or 4. You just do so many different things in that one shift. And it sounds overwhelming, but for me, it's like I want to keep my skills, as good as I can. So I am okay with working in long-term care because it keeps me with my nursing skills and make me feel like I'm really making a difference and really like I'm a nurse. So another reason is because of the support system, especially when you are a new nurse. I get it. Everybody is different. But for me as a new nurse, I was so grateful to be in long-term care because I had the support there. I didn't have to call this person, call that person, they were right there with me. I had a lot of training, on the floor with people. And so for me, it's a huge support system. That's why I like long-term care. And also just not even just as a new nurse, it's good to have that support. If you need to go take a break or you need to go and do something, or you have a question about something, you literally have all those supports like right in the building with you. Also, they tend to pay more in general. In general, they pay more and you get more hours out of it. So you can go and do home care and do 4 hours and make $200, or you can go and do, long-term care and do more hours and make more money. And then you also have the ability of overtime. You have the ability of bonuses. You have the, the overtime and the bonuses available. If you need to take time off, it's not hard to find someone to replace you. You just go to one of your fellow nurses, hey, let's switch days, and everything will be good. So for me, I prefer long-term care. I love long-term care. Right now I am doing agency nursing. I'm thinking about going part-time somewhere and then also do agency nursing. I just can't do full-time in one place. I just can't. You need a break from these places. We work really hard as nurses. So thanks for watching my video. I'm trying to keep it under 10 minutes. I hope it's under 10 minutes. Yep, almost. So I'm trying to keep it under 10 minutes. So I just wanted to kind of give you guys an idea, when it comes to my experience, of difference between working home care or working in long-term care / rehab. I'm hoping this is helpful for you. I know a lot of new nurses are graduating and watching these videos on YouTube, and you don't know, okay, which route should I